Good evening, all. Uh, as I opened my Bible app today, which is the YouVersion Bible app, which in general I have always found to be very good as far as apps go. Certainly Bible apps. But there has been an updated end user license agreement, EULA. And I think it's worth noting some of the stuff that they have said, and perhaps analyzing the text between the lines, so to speak. We've updated our policy. Before you keep going, we want to take a moment to explain what changed and why. As we build on our ability to use technology to serve you better, we also need to adapt our policies to bring clarity to you as part of our community. This update includes new language around how we use AI internally. To be clear, we use AI to recommend content, understand feature use, and improve your overall experience. Now that's subjective in my opinion. I would think my overall experience better if they did not use AI, but your mileage may vary. That said, we believe in the sacred nature of God's Word, which is why we're committed to being thoughtful, intentional, and responsible in any use of AI. I'm not trying to, make these out as bad people or anything like that. I just want to analyze the text and share it. A few things haven't changed, and they're worth saying clearly. The biblical text in the Bible app will always be original and unchanged. We don't sell your information. We don't run ads on our platforms. YouVersion is completely free because we believe nothing should stand between you and God's Word. That's made possible by the generosity of our community. Now, at face value, that sounds great. And I agree. At face value. Now it says, we don't sell your information. But do they give it away for free? That isn't, overtly made clear in as so much as they say they don't sell it. Okay. We don't run ads on our platforms. Well, they do, but ads for themselves. And, in a way, ads for God. I don't think there's anything inherently wrong in paying money for something religious. People have to write code and be paid and so on. So with that being said, interestingly enough, all of that just kind of disappeared while I was reading it. That's a bit odd to start with. Okay, well, can you tell me how to get back to that? Not easily, apparently. If you're familiar with this Bible app, I would imagine this would upset you as well that I can't pull up the EULA. I didn't click the I agree and continue button. Maybe if I close and reopen it. No. Okay, so how do I find out? What I'm reading and I guess passively agreeing to before clicking the button. If it's been on the screen too long, did they just assume I agree? Because they didn't, as I ethically think, close the app, because there were two options to click: agree and continue or decline and sign out. I didn't click either of those. Maybe on the support website. We'll have some of this information. I'm certainly not able to easily find out what has been presumably agreed to, and that's unsettling. It's very unsettling, because Satan has no problem infiltrating churches and religious organizations and entities. And AI is an extremely powerful tool with which he can do that. Terms of use. I finally found it. Although with completely different wording than the screen I was looking at previously. I don't need for this to go on so long. I thought I would just read it out loud and then make an informed decision whether or not to continue using this app. Well, look here. Our records indicate that you agreed to this privacy policy on July 19th, which I did not. I just simply left it on the screen long enough for it to assume that since I haven't closed it, that I agree with everything that is written there. Although I don't know many people that could have completely read all the way through the documents. Certainly not while discussing it. Anyway, as we said, that's made possible by the generosity of our community. The ads and all that stuff, I already talked about that. Continuing to read, when you agree, not if you agree, when you agree, you'll stay signed in, which allows for everything that makes the Bible app yours, including your highlights, checked in a big fancy way, your plans and prayers, your friends and community, your comments and completed plans. If you decline, we'll sign you out to respect your decision, as they should. Take a moment to read through the policy below, then let us know you're on board. That's what I was doing when they just assumed I agreed. And to be clear, this is not just a little bit of information for the layman to process. It's an outline. It's a very thorough agreement that nobody hardly is going to analyze. But let's look at this particularly important heading, I think. Your personal information, how we collect, use, and share it. Below is a brief overview of the personal information collected on YouVersion and the purpose for our collection. Please note, however, that our processing of your information depends on the information you choose to provide. I didn't choose to agree. That's not information I provided, so I'm already seeing flaws. That I choose to provide and the functionality of our services you choose to use. I choose, you choose, the user chooses. A more detailed description of our processing of your information is found below. And there are two headings: type of personal information, nature and purpose for collection. Personal identifiers such as name, aliases, IP address, email address, phone number, and similar identifiers. Collected to the extent you provide it to us to create an account for association with your account in order to ensure proper use and authentication for your account. Your personal information is also used to contact you in connection. Okay, I don't really find too much fault with that. I don't see why they need so much of that personal information. How about just a name and password, username and password, and all of that associated information they need would be available to them. Certainly not my home address, my phone number, things of that nature. Government-issued identifications such as social security numbers, driver's license number, passport numbers, and similar information. Collected and processed to the extent you provide an application for employment or to volunteer in order to do a background check and otherwise process your application. And they do have ads for volunteer services. So I see a contradiction. I see no shortage of contradiction, honestly. Financial information, such as credit card information, banking information, and similar information. Financial information provided to us online is processed by third-party service providers as discussed in our privacy policy. Well, what do they do with it? Are they going to reach out to me and ask me to agree to not share my data, my financial data in particular? It will also, of course, be linked to personal data. I mean, you can't just put your credit card number in with nothing for the name box or your billing zip code and so on. Anyway, moving along. Pardon me, it's been a long day. I'm hungry, trying to make myself a hot ham and cheese sandwich. Internet or other network activity, browsing history, search history, information on your interaction with our websites, apps, and other services. Collected as you use our sites and services in order to monitor and ensure the proper operation of our websites. That's again a subjective term, proper operation of our website. Now, I know they're implying it's just to make sure our website is working. But one could argue, are you making sure that I'm using it properly? Probably so. And there's probably good, legitimate reasons to do that. When people, when scammers and hackers and such target someone, they love to target a Christian or probably just as happy to target a Jewish person because they want to be kind. They fall prey to these scams regularly by their charitable spirit. The devil takes advantage of our good nature. If we can't have our soul, he can exploit us and possibly claim other souls, using us as a tool by his notorious power of deception. Geolocation data. Collected if you choose to use location-based functionality of our services. However, this information is maintained only on your device and is not stored by YouVersion. Right. Maybe so. Hey, benefit of a doubt. I'm not doing anything wrong. What do I have to hide? What do I need Fourth Amendment rights for? Anyway, pardon the cynicism. And I'm not going to keep going through the whole thing, because that's just the surface. But the thing that scares me the most is their integration of AI into a Bible app, as they admit third-party credit card processors, financial processing companies, who are not held by the same, beholden to the same end user license agreement, or EULA. All this is to say, I'm going to continue to use the app in the meantime while looking around for a better app, one that is completely offline, that doesn't have the ability to create me a username and password and sign in and so on. And the best way to do that, I know, is to finally go through and find that hard copy study Bible, King James Version. And maybe a book on ancient Hebrew for dummies. I mean, it's a joke, but it probably exists. But I'm going to continue using a VPN with all my devices. All I want to say, as a certified cybersecurity specialist, be careful. Be careful where you put your trust. You're not putting your trust in God by downloading this app. You're putting your trust in the makers of this app. Now, put your trust in God and you have nothing to worry about. But don't be fooled. Walk softly and carry a big stick, I think, is going to be our quote of the day, and the God Hour Short coming up momentarily. God bless you all.